Peace, love, and reparations. Welcome to Black Star TV 2.0. It's your boy Black Star, and today I got a nice episode for y'all. Excuse me. I want to say, start off by saying, rest in peace to Tyre Nichols and condolences to your family. Let's get this popping, man. So again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Please make sure you hit the share button, the like button, and notification bell. And to all my subscribers, I appreciate the love. We are growing. I actually got an email today from somebody who was telling me that my channel is ranked 160 in the United States in entertainment news. So again, we have another milestone, and I appreciate all the support and the love, that I get from y'all, and y'all come with some more. So a lot of people have been, talking about these 5 black officers who killed the young black guy. They're trying to say that the chief of police is a black woman. We had a Sambo actually that was talking about it's because she's a single mother and she's in charge, and all that's fine and dandy. Even that's not fine and dandy. Let me take that back. That's not all fine and dandy to say anything like that. But at the end of the day, right, this system is controlled by white supremacy. It's just simple and plain, right? I don't care how black the people were who killed that brother. The judicial system, just like the whole government, is, dominated by white power, right? And it's a system, the worst system in the country. The worst system in the world is the worst judicial system in the world and the worst government in the world, right? So this is the dynamics we are faced with, where you have, just like in Young Thug's trial that I showed you guys, right? Because Georgia is majority white. Some people might not think that because you see Atlanta, you see all these black people, but Georgia actually is majority white, where white people are committing more of the crimes. But black people are the majority of the people in jail. But when you go to the court buildings, right, you'll see black judges, black prosecutors, black lawyers, black bailiffs, black correctional officers, right? But still, somehow, systematically, we're being done the worst. So when we say all this, the police officers were black, yeah, they're black operating in a white supremacist system. So they have to uphold white supremacy the same way the chief of police, who is the head of the whole police department in Memphis, happens to be a black woman, right? But who does she have to go through, right? Who does she have to answer to? The mayor. And I'm going to show y'all real quick, right? Let me share my screen. First, I'm going to play Dr. Claude Anderson. Let me play Dr. Claude Anderson first, right? Let me back this up.
Because racism is economics. Racism has nothing to do with who you like or who you don't like. It has nothing to do with it. Only when they beat up on you now because they know you don't have any economics. You don't have a basis beneath you. When they drag you to shooting black folk, they're not shooting you because you're black. They're shooting you because of your social economic condition. You're powerless. They know the only thing you're going to do, they shoot 20 blacks tomorrow. Only thing you're going to do is go out and march. That's all you're going to do. They know that. You have no power and wealth. You build that business community and you build factories and industries in there. And you
see, now, his main thing that he said was that all we do is go out and march, right? Because that's normally what happens. But right now we have, let me share my screen again. Right now we have Benjamin Crump has came into the mix, right? As he usually does. He is a hustling lawyer who runs around the country trying to get ahead of the steam, right? To slow it down. So he's part of the boule. He runs with Al Sharpton and the rest of them people, Tamika Mallory, all the people in the boule class who are the Sambos who keep the dominant white society, helps keep their power. So they are the buffers for the black masses to try to get us to sway along with what the dominant society wants. And they do this, for the money at the end of the day, right? So you have the white power structure who comes down and gets this man to represent the people in all these high profile cases, which the whole country is looking at. They get him And then they get Ben Crump, right, to now tell the family. I'm not going to play this video because it's NBC News and they're going to strike the channel. Or they're going to not monetize the video. They're not going to strike it. But it says, we want peace. The family of Tyre Nichols calls for a peaceful protest, right? Now, watch this, family. You heard what Dr. Claude Anderson just said in the beginning of that video. But now we have the power structure telling the buffer, Benjamin Crump, to tell the family that they need to come out in public and ask for peaceful protests, right? Because again, we already know that the mainstream media, they are the main ones pushing the peaceful protesting. Oh, it's okay to protest, but when you start breaking stuff and you start looting and you start doing this, that's not cool. We need peaceful protests and things like that. Now watch this. They know peaceful protests ain't working, just like Dr. Claude Anderson said. They know that ain't going to work. So here we got the power structure telling us how to liberate ourselves against them. So the plan for peaceful protesting is coming from the top. That's what they want you to do because they know it don't work. They're telling you how to fight them, like they're going to tell you the winning strategy, right? So again, let me also show you guys, this is the chief of police. This is the lady right here, right? Sirlin Davis. I probably said that wrong, but Sirlin Davis, J. Davis, right? And the chief of police, again, is the highest ranking spot in the police department. But again, when I looked it up, the chief of police has to answer to the mayor and other elected officials. And in Memphis is going to be Jim Strickland, who's a Democrat. Liberal, Republican, it doesn't matter. They're all part of the white power structure who is anti-black at the end of the day. And all they use these, black faces to make it seem as though, it's not racism, right? So again, that's what we have there. But I also want to show y'all, again, this is Tamir Rice's mother's statement. She said, Tamika D. Mallory, Sean King, Benjamin Crump, Lee Merritt, Patricia Cullors, Melinda Abdullah, and the Black Lives Matter Global Network need to step down, stand back, and stop monopolizing and capitalizing our fight for justice and human rights. We never hired them to be the representatives in the fight for justice for our dead loved ones who murdered the police. The activists have events in our cities and have not given us anything substantial for using our loved ones' images and names on their flyers. The attorneys in our fight are also misleading the impacted families. In this case of Tamir Rice, it was even questionable as whether Benjamin Crump knew the laws in depth in the state of Ohio. I fired him 6 to 8 months into Tamir Rice's case. We don't want or need y'all parading in the streets, accumulating donations, platforms, movie deals, etc., off the death of our loved ones, while the families and the communities are left clueless and broken. Don't say our loved ones' names, period. That's our truth. See, now, again, watch. This is all orchestrated, family. Anytime you see Benjamin Crump, again, the boule, you will see all these other people that are the boule as well. But again, like she said, we never hired them to be representatives in our fight. They just come around because they know they're sent out. Yo, this is a big story. Y'all got to get out in front of it and push it down, right? Y'all gotta simmer it down. So they push them out there, the Black Lives Matter, the Tamika Mallory's, this, that, and the third. Then they shoot Ben Crump at them. Think about it. Ben Crump is in Florida. He's out of Florida. So what is he doing in Ohio, Memphis, New York, anywhere there's a mass shooting or a shooting or killing of a black person and it gets national news? Why is he always ahead and in the front, speaking on the family's behalf? And again, just like I said, it's just a coincidence that now they get in front of the camera and say, we want a peaceful protest, right? All this is orchestrated, family. All this is orchestrated for the simple fact that Ben Crump is in front of it. And we also, as a family, have to say and decide whether, we are going to back people who are going to, uphold the wishes of the dominant white society, who we're trying to fight, right? Who we are trying to liberate ourselves from, right? At some point, if a person not going to fight for themselves, we can't fight for you. I always say this. It's the same as in jail. If somebody getting picked on in prison, right? People will step in if the person at least fights a little bit. You're going to have to fight a little bit. But if you think you're just going to sit back and get picked on and you never going to stand up for yourself, ain't nobody going to stand up for you. So when these families, they get in front of the camera and allow these Sambos that's sent from the dominant white society to come down here and tell them how to move so that, things don't change, because they know a peaceful protest won't change. They know rioting in the street is going to they're going to have to make something happen, right? They're going to have to make something happen. It's just like that. That's why they want a peaceful protest. Because if it ain't peaceful, then we're going to have to make something happen ASAP. And again, it just makes sense that will work, right? So let me show y'all a video real quick. I'm gonna show y'all a video, 2-second style. It's on my Twitter. We have a Sambo here. His name is Jason Whitlock.
I would examine the racial element of this, because there is a racial element. And this is a story about young black men and their inability to treat each other in a humane way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got.
What the hell is he talking about? Because they were supervised by a young black woman. This is what happens? No, this is just what happens, right? Because we are in a system of white society. Now, I don't really remember the brother's name, but it was from New York. He was going to the wedding, right? He was going to his bachelor party from his wedding or something like that. And he was killed by a ray of bullets, right? Being shot into the car. He had no weapon, right? They killed him. But the shooting officers most of them were black. The officers that were shooting into his car, right? You had some white ones too, and I think a Spanish one or something like that. They wasn't being, led by a single mother. And again, that's why I had to show y'all, the mayor and the chief of police, who's black, but she has to answer to the mayor. Again, this is all a white supremacy system that it all trickles down to. No matter what the person's color is, at the end of the day, it's a white supremacist society, right? The judicial system is ran by the white power structure. But let me let this Sambo finish real quick.
That going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some black woman in charge of the police force, and we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all times, because there was no male authority in your home.
That's a lie like a motherfucker, bro. You know why it's a lie? Because I grew up with both my parents in the home. Both of them. They actually was married before I was born, right? I'm 40 years old. I know I don't look like it. I was always resisting arrest. I was always taking off on them, Can't catch me on foot. That's not happening, especially where I was from in Whitesboro, New Jersey. You was not catching me on foot. Never. You might have caught me in the whip, but you ain't catch me on foot, right? That had nothing to do with my parents. That had nothing to do with my mom being a single mother, because she wasn't. Like, this is a stereotype that he's trying to project just for these people at Fox News.
Let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what? This is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random white. This is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the.
No, this has nothing to do with the breakdown of family. This has everything to do with white supremacy. You can say it's tough. You could try to, say it's Tucker Carlson's fault. It's this person's fault. No, what it really boils down to, right, is that this is a white supremacist society, which is ran by, white supremacists who use black faces. Because even at the end of the day, watch this, family. Young Thug's case, again, like I said, is black judge, black prosecutor, black, one of the prosecutors is black. Then you have, or one or two of them is black. Then you have the black lawyer, you have the black bailiffs, the black, you know what I mean? Everybody in that whole situation is black, but we still have the highest, or being the highest number of incarcerated people in the state of Georgia when Georgia population is majority white and the white people are committing more of the crimes. So the color isn't mattering. It's the system. And this is what people fail to realize. And again, this is how you know it's some cheesy stuff going on, because they try to take the white dynamic out of it.
There was a white officer that was tasing my son.
Yep.
And we don't understand how come his name was not put out there or mentioned in this whole fiasco.
The media is not talking about it either. It's very odd.
I think that there should be quite a few additional charges.
See what I'm saying? So again, we have a dynamic. We have a dynamic, family, where you have a white cop that was involved who's not being mentioned because they want to keep that part out of it so it can be all this black on black stuff. But this isn't black on black crime. This isn't black on black crime when you have police officers who are doing this to a civilian. See, black on black crime is civilians, two black civilians going at it. Right now, you have, black officers working under the thumb of a white supremacist judicial system, right? Because it becomes the police, the courts, the jails, right? So watch, family. Even when we get all these black officials, we had a black president, quote unquote, a black vice president, quote unquote, right? You have all these black mayors, black governors, black senators, right? And things still are worse. We still find ourselves with at the top of the charts of the top of the statistics on all the negative statistics, right? On all things negative, we're at the top. Mind you, we have all these black people in high places, or black faces in high places, as they say, and nothing is ever changing, right? Because again, it is a system of white supremacy. Black cop that I grew up with in school, I went to school with. I asked him one day on social media, I said, yo, have you ever witnessed a cop doing something he wasn't supposed to be doing? Like overcharging somebody with charges, overcharging them, roughing them up, planting, whatever. Even from the littlest minute thing, have you ever seen it happen? He was like, yeah, a lot, actually. I said, did you ever go to internal affairs? You ever wrote anybody up or anything? Nah, because that. Start explaining. But you know why you got to explain? Because if you ain't doing that, if you're not telling on the bad officers, don't give me that good officer. You a good officer-ish. Because we love to always talk about all officers ain't bad, but majority of them aren't telling on each other. So I can't call you a good officer. I'm not going to call you a good officer if you're not reporting none of the bad ones. You're not going to come out here and try to get us to tell on each other and give each other 1,000 years, but then turn around and you don't want to tell on your coworker, again, because it's a system. And the people who disrupt the system get dealt with. Look up the people who whistle blow on other cops. They get fired, they get demoted. You feel what I'm saying? They get picked on so much that they wind up wanting to quit, because it's a system that you gotta uphold, or else you're out of there. And they're gonna get you out any means necessary. Whether they gotta rock you or they just gotta kick you out. But you're not gonna come in here and then try to change our system. You see what I'm saying? Again, we have the most corrupt government on the planet. We have the most corrupt judicial system, who has the highest number of incarcerated people, right? And majority of them are Black. We have the highest recidivism rate. And for those who don't know what recidivism is the likelihood of coming back. We have the highest recidivism rate. But people will try to make it seem like, oh, Mexican jails is worse. Oh, these jails over here are worse. Yeah, worse conditions. Yeah, they might have worse conditions, but they're not the worst system. It's not the worst system. Yeah, when you have the highest number of incarcerated people on the planet, you have the highest recidivism rate on the planet. It's a system, fam, that's designed to be like that. It's designed when Black people, you can look at the federal statistics, when Black people are committing less than 25% of the crimes, but you are over 40% of the prison population, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't add up. So again, we know we're in a system, and regardless of the Black faces there, it's still going to be the same. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what state you go to, where you have a city that's majority Black and things are being run by Black people, and that's what they started trying to do. Again, this is another tactic, right? You take a Black city, get all the white officials out of there, right? Because then we're going to be blamed for being racist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to promote, the Sambo, because they already know who they're going to pick. We're going to promote a Sambo to be above this. We're going to promote a Sambo to be above that, right? So that they can still uphold the white power structure, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And we also got to make sure that, anytime we starting to get outraged about something, and we got to stop having selective outrage, right? Because we do have selective outrage as a people. We love to only be outraged when the dominant society, or the I would not even going to say the dominant society, but the mainstream media are the ones pushing the narrative, right? If they push a story and make it national news and they keep pushing it every day, this is what becomes the most talked about thing on social media. And I'm going to give you an example of how it's selective based off what they're doing. If they wasn't talking about this, nobody would be talking about it, regardless of 5 police officers beating a Black man, because this happens all the time, right? I'm not going to say they'd be beating them to death, but again, you know how many people died from the police this year already that were Black, right? So you have this happening, right? You have all these people, you have this happening, you got selective anger, outrage, because even when we start talking about the poison that they're putting in your arm, right? And how people are dying from that, right? You got people dying from the poison that they put in their arm. But there's no outrage, there's no big outrage about that. You know why? Because that's not national media. That's not national news right now. Because the mainstream media wants to keep that under tuck. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to expose that part, and you're not going to be outraged about it because it's not the main topic of the dominant media. You see what I'm saying? This is why we have to I said dominant media, but it's not the mainstream media. Excuse me. I'm so used to saying dominant white society right now. I'm saying dominant media, but they are the dominant media because they're the biggest, right? And again, family, this is why we have to support, right? And I thank all of y'all for supporting me. I appreciate it. And I'm about to actually show y'all something after I say what I say. We have to start, supporting, the new black media, and tell your friends and your family to support the black media who's going to, who's going to promote, this the way it should be, who's going to be journalistic, really journalistic, right? Who's not just, we don't have an agenda. The only agenda we have is, the betterment of our community, right? We're not here to be like, oh, well, we just going to side with this because we're Democrat, right? And the Republicans like that, so I can't like that. You get what I'm saying? We're not off that type of time. We don't subject ourselves to no political party. It's policy over party, and you know what I'm saying? It's always policy over party and reparations over everything. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, that's what we need. That's why Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about racism is economics, right? We need a foundation, which we need to get that from reparations and do just like the natives are doing, right? And having their own police. We need to police ourselves. That needs to be the answer, because a lot of people talk about qualified immunity, but really qualified immunity doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? Because the corrupt judicial system is the corrupt judicial system. And y'all can be in that kangaroo court even with qualified immunity gone, right? And you can still get off, just like Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't have qualified immunity. Majority of the white people that get in trouble in the country don't have qualified immunity, but they're committing most of the crimes, but they're not the most people locked up. So qualified immunity don't really means anything. We need to police ourselves. We need to have a Freedmen's Bureau in every state, controlled by freedmen, right, and FBA. And we need to police ourselves, right? And not subject our people to this, corrupt judicial system who has the highest recidivism rate and the highest incarceration rate in the world, which just happen to be our people who aren't committing the most crimes. You see what I'm saying? This is why they have to finesse everything and keep you away from the truth. Because as long as you don't know the truth, it can be, business as usual, which that's what the prison system is business. It's nothing but business, right? So, okay, family, yeah, I want to show y'all this real quick. Let me show y'all this before I even, wanted to show y'all this real fast. So I want to thank all of y'all for supporting the channel. Please hit the subscribe button, family. I got an email earlier today saying we ranking very well in the United States. Your podcast, Black Star TV 2.0, has a good performance in Apple Podcast rankings in the last 30 days, position 160 in the category of entertainment news, man. All the podcasts that's in the United States, we ranked 160, and we just kind of started. I only had this podcast not even a whole month. I ain't even had a podcast the whole month, man. I want to thank all of y'all who've been watching and who've been supporting, man. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit me up on my Patreon too at Black Star TV 2.0 on Patreon. Hit the Cash App, $WILLIE 0312, and hit the PayPal for Black Star TV 20. But again, family, man, listen, we definitely have to watch out for this propaganda media, and the selective outrage and things like that, because at the end of the day, you just got to be careful fighting for people who not going to fight for themselves, or who are going to let these Sambos control the situation. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I told my friend today, I said, yo, if something happened to one of my children, right? Me and my ex-wife aren't together anymore. We cool and stuff, but we're not together, right? If something was to happen to them, the first thing they would do because they already know what I'm about. You already know I've been to prisons several times. You know, based off my content and my social medias, what type of time I'm on. So the first thing they would try to do, they would try to get her out there by herself. Because they know I'm not going to go for the Crump, get your black ass out of here. I don't want you. You feel me? I don't want you. I'm good. I'll get a black lawyer, but I'm definitely not getting you, right? You're not going to get me to come on the news and start forgiving people. That shit is out. You're not going to get me to tell people to stop rioting and looting. That shit is out. You're never going to get me to do that. You might convince my ex-wife to get that off. You feel me? You might convince her, but you definitely ain't getting that off with me. Right? Because I'm going to wish death on every single person that was involved in my kid's death. Straight like that. We don't turn the other cheek. We not sitting here, forgiving our enemies. We don't love our enemies. We don't do none of that over here, right? So what we got to do is we got to watch out for people who gonna. And again, I don't know what the family's doing. I just know that when I seen that they want a peaceful protest, and I seen Crump, I'm like, man, here we go, right? So. Like at the same time, I'm just kind of up in arms, and still condolences to the family and everything like that. But man, don't let these people finesse the situation and try to calm all that stuff down. Because at the end of the day, because that's what I'll be up there talking about. Mr. Adams, how you feel? Reparations. That's how I feel. Straight like that. Reparations, dog. What? You know what I mean? I want the death penalty for everybody involved, and we need reparations, straight like that. All of us. Foundational Black American Freedmen. Like, family, man, listen, I'm going to let y'all go, man. I appreciate y'all for being here with me. I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Share this content. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, but I got that email today. I was so psyched, and I wasn't even going to do a video today, to be honest. I was going to wait till tomorrow to be for real, but I got that. That kind of hyped me up. Again, man, family, y'all love and support. Make sure you drop some comments in the comment section as well. But y'all love and support, man, is greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. That's why I love to engage with the people in the comments. I got some stuff going on. I actually, was joined this program, and Brother Ben X is my sponsor. I actually been making some bread. So right now, one of my videos, I just gotta wait to something I gotta wait for something to happen real quick. Then I'm gonna get on here, do the video for y'all, and show y'all how y'all can get involved as well. Because I want to show y'all the results. I want to show y'all results, right? And again, I already made some money, but I want to show y'all this last result that I get, so I can show y'all how y'all can, get involved and get some money as well. I was trying to bring a friend that I'm helping out. I was going to bring him on here as a testimonial. And that's another thing I'm waiting for. I'm not going to wait for that. But once my situation, I get what I'm supposed to get within the next week, I'm going to do the video. And then I'm going to bring my brother on here to be a testimony to show y'all that I made him some bread as well. And my parents, but they not gonna come on here for real. But shout out to everybody, for supporting the channel. I appreciate the love. Again, it's like, I can't even. I know I say that all the time, but I truly mean it. I truly mean that I love the support, and I appreciate all of y'all, because y'all have been the what you call that? Damn, I feel like I have something on my lip. Y'all been therapy to me, honestly, bro. This shit is therapy, and all the comments of wishing me well and things like that, and keeping me striving to keep going. I appreciate it, man. And I can't. I'm humbled, to be honest. I'm humbled. But I'm gonna let y'all go, family. Y'all have a productive weekend. I hope y'all have a productive week, man. Get ready for this week. We're gonna make this week big. All of us, not just me. We're gonna make this week big, and we're gonna get this bread. Man. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, family, we up out of here, man. I love y'all. Y'all be easy and stay out of trouble, family. Be